To my dear Woodlands family, yesterday's events were heartbreaking, vile, and saddening. This message may feel a little belated from me. My wife and I and our kids had to let go of our family dog yesterday after several months battle that he had with cancer. And so it took me until this morning to compose myself and have the right words to share. I have a few things I'm going to share over a few minutes, and then I have a lot more that I want to share with you on Sunday morning. First of all, just as a human being and in my flesh, not in a bad way, but in my flesh and as a human and as a human being, I'm deeply grieved and saddened that we can no longer debate, argue, and discuss the ideas of the day, and rather the answer is slowly becoming hate, hurt, and murder. I pray that that spirit of death and that spirit of murder would be removed from our nation. We must, as believers, be willing to agree to disagree, not only with one another, but with those we don't agree with. That is the proper way. That's my thoughts as just a human being and as an onlooker, as an American, and as a citizen. As a believer and as a pastor, I'd like to say to us, don't let hate, anger, and vengefulness creep in to your thoughts, into your soul, and into your heart. A friend texted me yesterday, and he said this. He said, I'm reminding my family today, what separates us from the world is that we can't allow hate to sneak into our hearts. I think at the forefront of yesterday's tragedy, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, one of the things that can happen is hate, anger, and vengefulness can slip into our spirit. And I think that there is nothing more that repudiates, nothing more that is worse for our heart and our soul as believers than to allow anger, hate, and vengefulness into our spirit. Fight against that, church. Pray against that, church. If it surfaces for you, stop what you're doing and ask the Lord to remove it. Remember that none of those things define who we are as believers. It is our love, forgiveness, mercy, and grace that is to define us. I would shepherd you and pastor you in these moments to love those you are closest to well. When a 31-year-old is lost from not only from his place as a political figure, but when he's lost from his church family, when he is lost from his family, his wife, and his 2 small children, it should do something in us that causes to look over the landscape of our life, where we're spending our time, and how well we're loving those close to us. I hope that this moment causes you to think through how and where you're spending your time, to think through the relationships that you have with those who are closest to you, and to draw all the more near to your family and friends during this time. At this fever pitch moment for our nation, I am reminded that there is only one hope for our community, for our state, for our country, and our world. The only hope that we have together is Jesus Christ and his gospel. There is no word, there is no great debate, there is no public speaker, and there is certainly no politician that can bring hope to a dying, dark, and evil world. We have the only hope. We have the only light. We will learn this in 2 Corinthians in the coming week. We have a treasure in these jars of clay, as Paul explains it, and that treasure is Jesus Christ and his gospel. If your hope was in anything, if it was in any man or woman, if it was in any political ideology, if it was in any podcast, if it was in any place of thought. It's time to rethink that and to refocus our hearts on Christ and his gospel. The book of Hebrews, the letter that Paul writes to the Hebrews says this: let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. There is no better time than this very moment to reset our hearts, minds, eyes, and ears on everything of Jesus. The other thing I want to speak against is fear. Among the many emotions that you may be experiencing in this moment is fear. The assassination of someone like Charlie Kirk, who, while you would call him maybe something of a celebrity, definitely strikes at the heart of other believers and other Christians, particularly in America. Wondering what places are safe, wonder where we can go, if it is safe or not, wondering if church is a safe place, wondering if gathering as a community of believers is a safe place. I'm sure some of you even wondering if California will be saved. Our gospel and worship event coming up on September 27th is safe. And maybe some fear has begun to grip your heart. Throughout God's word, both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, we are told emphatically, clearly, and directly, and we are given the imperative to not fear. Jesus himself says, why do you fear the ones who can steal your physical life, who can take away your body, but have no control over your soul? We know that in Joshua, the book of Joshua in the Old Testament, as Joshua is taking leadership of the Israelite nation and is about to lead them on a conquest towards God's promises, Joshua is reminded 6, 7, 8, 9 times, I forget the number, be strong and courageous, Joshua. Be strong and courageous, Joshua. My friends and family, this is not the time to let fear win. This is the time to let courage win. This is not a time for the church to shrink back, to be intimidated or be afraid. This is a time for the church to rise up in courage and strength and put the love, the courage, and the bravery of Jesus Christ on display. So having said all of those things, we will absolutely, without question, gather on Sunday morning at our normal times, 9 and 11. But our time together will not be normal. We're going to strip away announcements and videos and fluff and any of the extras that we often do. And we will be doing 3 things. Praying, we'll be in God's Word, and we'll be giving God the glory and the praise for all that He has done. I will be bringing a special message. We will be outside of 2 Corinthians on Sunday. We're going to pause what we're doing normally because this is not a normal moment. And we are going to go to a different place in the New Testament, asking God to speak His sweet word over us and to give us a word as we move into this season. As far as church ministry outreach goes, the emphatic and clear word is we continue on. We pick up the flag and the banner of Jesus Christ, His love and His gospel, and we continue to charge the hill. We continue to take ground from the enemy. To do anything less would be unfaithful. We will continue on in the ministry and the calling in which we have received, for we believe together that Jesus is indeed our only hope. Thus we will carry His flag and His banner till the very end, until the moment in which Jesus returns victoriously, or until the moment, like Charlie Kirk did yesterday, we return home to Him and meet Him, Jesus Christ, in heaven. Blessings, peace, and comfort, my dear church family. Gather with me on Sunday. Put away any distractions, cancel any event, don't go to your kid's sports game, forget the NFL. get to church to gather with your body of believers on Sunday, and bring your friends, bring your family, so that they too can hear the hope we have in Jesus Christ. I'll see you at 9 or 11.